Hi there. This is going to be another talk, and as you can see, I've still got this cold. It's never-ending cold, but it doesn't stop me. And this talk is going to be about Akashic records. I've spoken about this before, and it's so simple. Everything is basically, and this came from this unexpected spiritual awakening that I had at the age of 24 and 32, 33, my birthday. And so years of this path, and basically what it showed me was that everything is symbology. Some people actually don't like symbolic things, and because they don't have the intellect to understand it. That's why. And this, I'm blunt, but that's the way it is. They don't have the intelligence to understand it. Because when you start to look symbolically, you've got to use more intelligence. You got to go with feeling more rather than thought. And basic thoughts and thought in general is a very low version of intellect. The real intelligence is to do with feeling, which is in science now, which is heart-based living. And it's all about going with your feeling and your inner guidance. And that's when you start tapping into your Akashic records are actually all around you. Every little object, every animal, everything going on is going through an emotional thing that you have yet to face. And when you tap into this emotional thing, this heart-based thing, and once you start going within, your heart center is connected to all this stuff. Then once you start to do that, you start to connect with future versions of yourself. And this can help you in your day-to-day life. You'll start to have visions of things. You'll start to have visions of symbolic things. It's all symbolic, and you realize that, like I was thinking before this talk, that I believe that reality is a simulation, and that it's just a dream-like computer thing, and that it's not real at all. And that you're just as much a person as you are a balloon. It's all the same thing. And even science can prove that. Quantum physics can prove how an object is actually the infinity of everything. So everything is the same thing, but having different experiences. So that's it. Even someone dying of cancer is going through that experience because they're actually healing from another reality, I believe. And I think that there's a higher purpose for death as well, for the death experience. It's a very spiritual experience, the death experience. I've watched videos on YouTube with people that work in care homes with people that have died, and I find it very interesting. It's a very interesting experience, I think. When you're going through that, and I believe it's a deeper, and everything has a deeper meaning. And to find out the meaning, you've got to look at all the symbolic. You've got to train yourself to look at all the symbology and understand that God has put the trails out for you, but too many people are expecting a certain outcome, and you've got to let go of that and look at everything symbolically as a symbol. And then you start to tap into future versions of yourself, and intuition things start appearing. And this is how it was for me in this unexpected spiritual awakening. I know I didn't look from this angle before my awakening, and I'm not going to dive into this awakening, but you know, it wasn't just one experience. Once you have that big awakening, you now awaken all the time. You awaken every day. You have a, you know, more insight and clarity into things every day. And you probably look like a crazy person to normal people, but the normal person just basically repeats things, and when you think out, it doesn't take much to be seen as crazy. It's like, I was on the internet today looking at older stuff of David Icke on Google, and just 2011, and the criticism he got was unbelievable. And he didn't kill anyone, you know, and he didn't say that he was the Son of God. That was completely taken out of context, you know, he didn't say that. What he was that was the interview he did with Terry Wogan, and he was talking about the Godhead, which is a symbolic thing of a triangle. And basically what it means is that the God, you've got the life and you've got the lesson. And that's what he was talking about. But because it was in 1991, people were a lot more unevolved compared to David Icke at that time. He was a very, very evolved being. But when you're a little bit more evolved, you seem like crazy. It's like when I was at school growing up, if I didn't listen to the teacher, I mean, what's the teacher doing? The teacher's got one possibility and they're teaching that to the kids. So because I wasn't going with that possibility, I was the bad kid. And this is how crazy people are when your opinion is one opinion, but there's billions more on this planet. That's how insane humans are. They really are. And the way things are going with this global spiritual awakening is David Icke now is very accepted. And David Icke is being celebrated now. He's just had a film out. And the way things are heading, the people that have criticised him are going to feel very stupid, or probably already do. Because he's now being celebrated by even mainstream people. You know, I think it was last year, was it? Eamon Holmes had him on his radio show and to interview him. And Eamon Holmes is quite a mainstream guy. So what's happening is, you know, people are waking up, and the people that would have criticised someone like David Icke are going to be made to look stupid. Because David Icke wasn't crazy, either am I. It's just that, you know, the way normal society is controlled is they think their opinions of normal is the only possibility, but they don't see that there's billions more. And that's how crazy, I mean, it's tragic how crazy humans are up to this date. But as I say, people are waking up, so there's a change happening. But in this change, lots of people are going to feel stupid, you can guarantee that. But things like Akashic records this stuff is, you know, perceived, Akashic records, as you have to be special to talk about it. No, it's very simple. Everything around you is your Akashic records. Everything you interact with is that. But you're just looking at it from the wrong angle. You need to start looking at everything as symbology, like I say, and you start to tap into future things of you. And that's when you're accessing it. And then you'll start to get, as I get all the time, this insight all the time. That's what awakening does for you. And that's how you awaken yourself. You just start to look at all as symbology. But we're programmed to not look from this angle. We're programmed so that we only look from one angle, and to stop us accessing our divinity, to stop us accessing energies within us. And that's it. And they're just programmed. When people talk of a snake in Kundalini, that's symbolic. It's all symbolic. You know, because in Ascension, you become like a snake. You become, what is the snake's characteristics? In its, you know, the way it lives its life, it's a very still creature. If you were to get attacked by a snake, you probably wouldn't see it because it's so still and so cool. And so worshipping the snake is, when you're ascending, it's kind of like you're becoming like a snake. You're becoming so still and so nothingness and so meditative. And that's what that means. It's all symbolic. The people from ancient times We're trying to give you things symbolically. And that is how you access your divinity, that is how you access your Akashic records, and it's so simple. And I'm not special for saying this, it's just that I was so depressed that it made me pay attention to what was within me and what was in this moment. And then I started to go through this awakening. You know, I think sometimes you have to be very depressed to let go of the outward world, which is just designed to hurt you. This is why so many lovers will hurt each other, because they're messed up in their heads. You know, their parents were messed up in their heads as well, and it's just a cycle going on and on and on. And so you got people that they'll, you know, take drugs or drink alcohol, have sex, or breed. You know, if they're women, they'll have loads of kids just to kind of escape. They want a baby to escape their dead-end crap life. But, you know, you're not helping anyone. In fact, if you have a baby, you're bringing a kid into the world when you're not capable of really bringing that kid up, because you're not in your right mind. So the most important thing is to heal yourself first, then have a child. You know, instead of rushing things. Why is everyone rushing? You're rushing to go nowhere. That's it. People rush to go nowhere. It always feels better when you let go of what you're chasing and just be present. But I'm just wanting to leave it there, and I always say this: if you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Everything falls to divine order and divine timing. Thank you for watching. Thank you.